That's it for Bianco 6. So let's move on to Ricco Harbor. And actually the first question in Ricco is something that I've already covered. And it's how to do the momentum spin at the start of Ricco. That was an anonymous question. But I suppose I can mention it once more. Just for sake of handling each question. You spin the control stick while you're water sliding, and then you press A twice in quick succession. That's how you do the momentum spin. Oh. Wow, that's an interesting position. Let me save that. In the proper spot. Jamar, right now I'm answering all the questions that were asked in advance through the Google Doc, so if you stick around until after I'm done, I'll be doing an open Q&A, and then I'll be able to answer your question, okay? Yeah, nobody asked about Honey Skip, actually, from the looks of it. So yeah, I'll handle Honey Skip later, okay? Alright. So yeah, when you're hover sliding, you spin, and then you press A. And in this case, you actually have to press A very fast, because otherwise you don't get it, so... Double tap A as fast as you can. And that's really all there is to it, to those momentum spins. But yeah, we talked about it before. Alright. So next up is a question about Ricco 2, and this is from Blood Whale, and yeah, he asked to explain Blooperless. So let's do this. Let me head into... I can do this, right? Ooh, that camera angle isn't good, though. Is that always gonna be the case? Okay, no, it's fine. Alright, normally this guy has 3 text boxes, but he doesn't because of the practice codes. But yeah, okay. So what Blooperless is in this level is that instead of using the bloopers, we would use the green blooper in a speedrun. You're actually gonna go up here. And if you go over here, you'll see the race actually starts. And you can complete the race without any bloopers. There's just 2 checkpoints that you need to hit. So the first checkpoint is right over here, is where you want to hit it. Now, it covers this entire area over here. But yeah, obviously, you don't want to go all the way over there, because the finish line is over there. So, basically, if you walk into this corner, you'll hit this checkpoint. And then the next checkpoint is over here. And it's actually all along this ledge right here. So like this, whoops, that whole area. And it also covers the water here, but once again, we don't want to go in there. So if you just walk along this ledge, this area right here, you can go all the way over here if you want, but there's no real need. That's the second checkpoint. And then you can finish the race. As you can see, we want to restart it real quick, because otherwise bad things will happen. So, those are the checkpoints. Yo, Eclipsis, thank you for the sub. Let's fucking go. Romster, that is false. Blooperless breaks even if you get 21 seconds on the in-game timer, as long as you do this first part correctly, getting up onto the wall. It can save up to 4 seconds, that's correct, because it's possible to get a 17-second time, but that's very hard. So if you're getting 21s, you're breaking even, which means it's not worth it. You want to be able to consistently get at least a 20-second time on the in-game timer. But yeah, I mentioned checkpoints, so there's actually a way that you can tell which checkpoint you missed. And I'm going to show that off too, because this is important for figuring out what you're doing wrong when you're learning this strat. So, we're going to start the race. And as you can see, the bloopers are still here. Now, if I miss the first checkpoint, that means that nothing is going to happen, so the bloopers are going to stay. So if I've missed the first checkpoint, I can't activate the second checkpoint. So basically, if you reach the finish line and you're like, oh, the bloopers are still there? Right, I've activated the second checkpoint now, in theory. So as you can see, the bloopers are still here. So that means that I missed the first checkpoint. But if you hit the first checkpoint, let's do that right now. Right now, the bloopers will have disappeared. So let's go back here and check on that. See, no more bloopers. So if you reach this finish line and you see you're not... If you reach the finish line here and the timer doesn't stop and you see that there's no bloopers, that means you missed the second checkpoint. If you reach the finish line, the timer doesn't stop, and you see that there's bloopers there, that means you missed the first checkpoint. So that's important for diagnosing what you did wrong. Alright, now let's get into the movement. So, as you're coming into this area, you want to hold upright on the control stick. And the reason for that is that you can actually move a little bit while you're falling into the level. And as you're practicing this level, it's actually important that you face the right direction as you load the level. You want to face the direction that you're going to be facing, which is this direction. So let me reload the level. I'm going to hold upright. And I'm going to press X. Oh, I actually messed that up. I was supposed to press X as I was falling. But as you can see, Mario moved a little bit to the right. And this sets him up in a position where you can do a jump and a dive. And then you'll bounce off of that guy, and when you're at the top of your jump, you want to hold up left, and then you actually need to do a GWK off of that ledge, which I just messed up. Let's try that again. I want an angle like this. So yeah, you need to do a GWK and then a hover. And that's very tricky. But you basically need to do this in order for Blooperless to be worth it. So this is definitely not a beginner strat. It's definitely difficult. You need to be good at GWKs. But yeah, you just do a GWK and then you immediately hover so that you can land on that ledge. And the reason the hover is important there is because the hover will cancel the Y camera. Because if you do this... See, you'll be in Y cam, and then you can't move. You need to cancel it. So that's what the hover is for. But yeah, then you just double jump, and once you get up here, you want to get a hover slide here. And then the rest of this movement, you pretty much just need to follow along. You use the hover here to extend your jump. You want to land in this area, so you activate the first checkpoint. Then you want to go down right and get a water slide in this direction. I actually messed up here. It's kind of hard to like break this up into chunks because the movement's so fast. So you want to get this and then switch to the spray nozzle. It's spray while you're triple jumping. That way you get water here. So you can instantly get a water slide without having to hover slide. And once you're here, you have a choice. You can either do this and go up here and then go to this checkpoint. Or you can, if you have a good angle, you can do this. And that's actually faster. You need to do a very short hover when you go off of this ledge. That's... Actually, you don't need to do that, but it makes it a little bit easier to control your direction. If your angle is really good, you can just go for it. But yeah, you spin jump as soon as you hit the ground, and that's the faster option. And then the last thing is that this ground here is kind of weird, and it's harder to hover slide here compared to most places for some reason. So you really want to use the spray hover slides. So you get up here, you reach this corner, then you want to spray hover slide. Yeah, then we finish. Oh yeah, let's do the whole thing. Show it off. That was a slightly bad angle, as you can see. So I'm not going to go for that movement. I'm just going to go up here. I got a 19-second time. Oh yeah, and then that. You want to try and get as close to the shine as possible. I was actually a little bit off there. You can get here, and then you can immediately jump ground pound in the position where the shine is, and then you'll collect the shine immediately when it appears, like when the cutscene is done. But that's the ideal situation. Let me see if I can get that real quick. Along with the other movement. That looks pretty good. As you can see. Yeah, I got it that time. Hey, Shadow Mario. Alright, so... yeah, that's pretty much everything. If you guys have any follow-up questions about this level, let me know. I'm gonna show off one more thing real quick. And that is the reason why I was talking about the angle here. I just realized that I didn't really tell you guys that, but if your angle is a lot like this here, then if you try to spin jump here, this will happen. You hit this ledge. So that's why I suggest not doing it if your angle is not very straight. And it's also why I suggested doing that little hover, because you can change your angle with that hover and still get it. But you will lose some height, which will slow you down, so it's not really worth it in my opinion if your angle is bad here. So it's best to just spin jump up in my opinion if your angle is bad. So yeah, that's the last little thing. Do you have to touch the ground on the second checkpoint, or can you hover over the checkpoint? I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter, because even if you're like... even if you do like, if you do like this, I mean, that's slow, but you'll still hit the checkpoint, because it's just in this area. You don't need to be on the ground for it. And if you're, like, sliding off of this, then you're already hitting the checkpoint, because the checkpoint starts, like, all the way up here. But yeah, I can't really think of any other situation where you would be hovering over it. Except maybe you're talking about, like, this. If you're hovering here, that doesn't matter. You'll still hit it. And you need to land anyway, so just land inside the checkpoint. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not necessary. Because if that was the case, then why would the checkpoint even be all the way up here, right? Because you're not supposed to go up here. You're supposed to only be down there, so... yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter. How easy is Blooperless entry? I think it's pretty easy. That's a good one, actually. If we're going to be talking about Blooperless, I may as well show off Blooperless entrance as well. Yeah, no worries, Romster. No such thing as stupid questions. Okay, so... Blooperless entrance... you can either do a hover slide here, or you can just do a jump dive. The jump dive is a little easier. But yeah, you just want to get a water slide in the sewer. You want to get a camera angle kind of like this, slightly tilted. You roll out with a short A press, because if you don't do a short A press, then you'll hit the ceiling and it'll stop you. About like halfway, like, see where this like door is on the building over there? You can kind of see it. That's where you roll out. And then you'll end up right here. Camera angle should be like this. And when you get up here, you spray the regular nozzle. You don't press it all the way, but you press it partially. You jump, And then as soon as you get out, you switch to the hover nozzle while you're still holding R, and then after that you immediately let go of R and you dive. And that way you'll dive into the water that you sprayed on the ground. That's the easy way to get a fast water slide here. And then this last part is honestly the only real hard thing. You wanna kind of turn to the right here so that you go out further, which makes it easier to turn around. And then you Y-turn, hover, like that. That's something that you need to get used to. It's something that you simply need to practice. But yeah, let me show it off at full speed here. Camera angle like that. Go out wide and turn and you get in there. That's really all there is to it. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but I don't consider it very hard. I've been doing it for a very, very long time. I remember actually, back when I started doing this strat, there were barely any people doing it, and I really wasn't a good player back then. Like, I don't remember what time I had when I started doing it, but... yeah, a lot of people back then thought it was a lot harder than it actually is, and if you're... I'd say if you have a sub 130, you can definitely do blooperless entrance. And you can probably do the blooperless Safari as well, provided you're okay at GWKs. Because you really need to be for this to be worth it.